All right, we're back. AMG Hobby Talk number 33. We got a full house today. Everybody's back in the house, including returning to us from location, feeling very festive. Sherry, how are you?
I am incredibly wonderful.
Excellent.
Whoa.
And I'm totally not making reference to Eagle Eye Blair and something that before the recording started. Definitely not. Just throwing it out there. So let's move on. Collector the Scalps, Collector the Evil. Steve, how are you?
I am fantastic this morning.
Wow.
Excellent. And Blair, your eyesight seems to be working for you, so you got that going for you. Otherwise, how are things?
Well, I'll follow the trend, and I'm absolutely wonderful.
Excellent, excellent.
Whether you believe it or not.
There you go. Go for it. Why not? I'm enjoying that we're at least getting into the nice part. We're starting to get some sunnier days, so that's been good. And the weather's been mostly agreeable, so that's nice. We have had pretty good combination of weather, so I always appreciate that. At least for the 5 minutes before the humidity absolutely batters us down. But right now we've got a little window where it's not so bad, and this is pretty good. So I'll take it. So I want to thank everybody for the support on the previous last couple of episodes. It's been really good. So we've got that going for us. I was just checking to see if we had anything interesting comments there. I will include one comment from the break, from the ultimate case break. So Sherry, and unfortunately we weren't able to get, I got to get Brad at some point to talk about the break because obviously, very exciting pull and everything. We did talk about it on the podcast though. I did laugh because one of the comments was hate when blind guys glue on the patch. That's fair. It's not always well aligned, but nonetheless, an excellent card. But I just thought it was funny. It's like, yeah, one of the funny things is sometimes you get the high end brand and then the patches don't wind up kind of in the middle. But otherwise, it's not quite centered, but it's still obviously a very cool card.
I'm gonna have to go back and look now.
Yeah, you have to take a look. If you check out the Austin Matthews, the shield is like a little over to the edge, a little over to the side. It's like, guys, you could have centered it.
I think we were just shell shocked. I didn't really look in detail.
Yeah, it's more of an upper deck problem. Somebody at upper deck was like, close enough. It's like, guys, you can center it. It's like it's a 1 of 1. You can put it in the middle. It's okay. But I just thought it was very funny, and one of the commenters noticed that. And then another the comments was always informative, which we appreciate, and it's always very good. So we do appreciate the engagement, and that's always awesome. Now we're going to talk about a couple of things here. We'll get a little bit of housekeeping done. I'll do a little scrolling ticker there at the bottom for the contacts. AMG Sportscards on Instagram, amgcollectibles.ca, the website. And anything we talk about, we are going to talk about a couple of products today. Specifically, we'll focus on Synergy. But when we talk about any of these products, if you're ever curious about availability or have any questions, you can use those contact points. Reach out to the store directly. That is the fastest way. If you got any comments or anything, we appreciate it on the channel, of course. And we'll try our best to answer anything. But do reach out to the website itself or to the card shop through the contacts we provide. It's the fastest way to get a response. That's usually the best way to go about it. So, Sherry, a couple of things we're going to talk about. We do have the card show and everything coming up for June, and then we've got changed hours, and then we've also got the changing schedule. So do you want to give us a little rundown?
Yep. So the trade night will be Friday, June 28th from 5 to 8 as usual, with the card show following on the Saturday, June 29th from 9 to 1. We will not be doing any card shows during the summer, so no shows in July or August, but stay tuned for any future dates that we will have. And then beginning this Friday, June 7th, we are going to change to our summer hours, which only affects the Friday. So we will be closing at 7 instead of 8. Aside from the trade night, that will still be 5 to 8. But every Friday going forward, beginning June 7th, we will close at 7.
There you go. Adjusted summer hours, and something to bear in mind, especially as people are more out and about. So it makes a lot of sense to make the adjustment. And then pay attention to that show schedule, because as I said, the next one here will be the last show for a couple of months through the summer months until things start adjusting as we get closer to the fall. So we'll keep you posted, and we'll give you reminders along the way so that you remember that that's coming up. So we'll definitely have that going on. So what I'm going to do now is let's have a quick discussion about a couple of products that are coming in. I'll outline a few of them, and then we'll focus in on one of the specific ones that we're going to look at. So a couple of ones that are coming in, 2024 Panini Obsidian Basketball, limited quantities, but if you're curious about quantities or anything, reach out to the store. Best way to reach out. I'll mention a couple on here. Pokemon. So this is where I get to have some fun. I'll read it, not knowing what it is, and then I'll just look at Sherry. So Pokemon Vibrant Paldea Mini Tin Display Box.
Yeah, it's just a mini tin. So there's 2 booster packs, a sticker sheet, and an exclusive art card.
Glorious. All right, Pokemon SV06 Twilight Masquerade B&B display box.
Yeah. So those are the build and battle, not booster bundles, the build and battle. So it has like a ready to play deck and 3 booster packs, or 4? 4.
course.
I thought you
Exactly
mentioned
what I thought it was. Exactly what I thought it was. No doubt. Absolutely. 2024 Topps UEFA Club Competitions Value Box. So we've got Topps UEFA. So you've got another one of those products there. So that's one that's included. And again, if you want quantities or anything, reach out to the store. That is the best way. And then I'll mention also as well, before I get into Synergy here, 2023 Upper Deck Marvel Flair. So if you're interested in some of the Marvel, there is Marvel Flair there. If you remember some of the 90s Flair, they've got some very nice art on that traditionally. So something to bear in mind. I've no doubt they're following a similar tradition to it. Again, check in for quantities and more information if you wish. Now, we're going to talk about Upper Deck Synergy Hockey here. So that is 23-24 Synergy, which means we have Connor Bedard cards in it. So every time we mention the year and I mention 23-24, we're talking Connor Bedard. That is available. So I'm going to share the screen here. I will also include a link to it from Beckett, which includes the checklists. I do highly recommend. I'm going to go over some of the stuff with you, but Synergy is a particularly complex set. It's a little bit involved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to explain some of the key things to bear in mind. I'll highlight some stuff for you, but I strongly recommend, if you are interested, check out this checklist, check out the breakdown, because it's going to make your life easier if you already know what to expect going into it. So we'll give you a couple of highlights here to keep you posted on it. Okay. One of the key things here is that the base set is 125 cards, but it's broken down into subsections. Okay. So you're going to have your veterans 1 through 60. You're going to have your legends 61 through 75, rookies 76 to 115, and then your short printed rookies, guess where the Bedard is, 116 to 125. So it's broken down in all these little subsections. So that's the first thing you got to bear in mind. Second thing is all the base cards are very, very, very short printed.
Yeah.
This is a case where some of the parallels, well, honestly, most of the parallels, other than the really, really low numbered ones, the parallels are actually more common than the base. So that's why I said I wanted to give you a little breakdown, because Synergy is a little weird. If you're, for the uninitiated who aren't too familiar with it, you're going to stare at it and it's going to make your eyes bulge out because you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. But it is normal with the way they do Synergy. Synergy is serial numbered. Base cards are actually very low numbered, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to break it down a little bit. So what you have to remember is that the veterans and legends are numbered to 14. That is not a typo. That is not a mistake. That is actually what the base set is actually numbered extremely low. And then rookies and rookie SPs have 24. So you pull one of those ones that are the base, you're going to find the serial number is actually quite low, and it's going to be quite the pull. So if you get one of the Bedards or one of those ones, that's going to be a good day at the office. So I'll put it that way. So just bear in mind that those numbering, the way that numbering works. The parallels are the opposite. So every pack has a red version. Half can be used for the bounty program, which is its own thing. Purple parallels come numbered to 99. So the purple parallel is numbered to 99. So like I said a moment ago, the base set is actually much tougher than some of the parallels, including ones that are numbered. So that's an example of that. It sounds counterintuitive, and it is, but that's why I said it's a little more involved. That's why I wanted to take a minute and explain it. Base cards also have signed versions. Purple autographs are numbered to 65 or less for veterans, 35 or under for legends, 99 or fewer for rookies. Again, you could get an autograph version that is more common than the base. Again, it's all a little bit backwards. So don't, hopefully I'm not losing you, but I wanted to make sure I at least outlined it for you. Okay. The rookies SP tier also has a portrait version numbered to 14, along with an autograph red and a purple out of 10 version. So there's a lot of parallels and a lot of variants. So just be aware of all those things. Insert wise, we're chock full. I'm not going to try to outline all the different inserts. There's a ton of them. So I'm showing you rookie journey. There's a certain whole different variety and different subsets and included in it. I'll highlight a handful of them for you. And again, check out the link that we'll provide. We've got different serial numbered ones, and a lot of these also have multiple parallels as well. Different colored parallels you're going to see throughout, including numbered ones. You also have your autographs in it included. That's going to be part of it. You've got a subset called Cranked Up that covers a lot of ground. Now, one thing that I'll note here, and it's from the checklist, Cranked Up and some of the insert sets are going to have certain players that are not available in the base set checklist. Why? I don't know. I have no answers for you. But if you're looking for certain players and you can't find them in the base set, you may find them in inserts like Cranked Up. I'm just using that as an example. That's one where you're going to see certain players that are not in the base set. So bear that in mind. So that's why I said use the checklist, and you'll be able to search and see if your player is available in that category. So you've got your Metal Cast for Greatness cards at 1 in 56 packs. Autographs for these are out of 25 copies. These should be pretty interesting looking cards, I think, based on the mock-up. So this should be pretty good. You've also got Fearless Leaders, 1 in 32 packs. Flammable, exclamation point, 1 in 32 packs. Let's Go, Blair's personal favorite, 1 in 32 packs. Barn Burners and Waffle Boarded. Don't ask. Waffle Boarded, 1 in 80 packs. We'll just roll with it. So Flammable is right here. There's an example of that. Now, this was one that I wanted to bring up. Okay. So for reasons that I can't explain, I assume Steve will be able to explain it to us because I don't know. In Synergy, they decided to bring back StarQuest. Yep. So quick background for who isn't too familiar with this. This design is an homage to the 1998 StarQuest. So this was 98.99 Upper Deck UD Choice. It was kind of a low-end set originally, and these actually became a little bit infamous because the gold versions, numbered out of 100, are actually very tough pull. So 90s hockey collectors, this was a big chase for a lot of them. To this day, some of them are looking for those. People try to build the sets. So this is an homage to that. So this mock-up here is actually a gold out of 5 autograph variant that exists for it. So that is interesting. And they've got multiple versions. So you've got your blue, numbered to 199, green, numbered to 99, red, numbered to 49, and your gold out of 5. So they are following the colors that were the same colors as the original 98. So it was 4 of them. The original ones were not numbered except for the gold, which is numbered out of 100. So they're following that basic concept. But obviously the gold version here is the autograph version out of 5. Much tougher card. So I like the concept. The only concern I have with it is that it's going to be very tough to replicate that foil. This is a mock-up, so I'm not going to cast judgment until I see the cards in hand. I want to see what they look like. But it's very dangerous to go that way because a lot of people remember that set fondly, and now it's become quite the grail for the 90s set collectors. So hopefully they do it justice. That's just me stating hopefully they do. One other quick point that I'll make about this, and this is more of a critique on it. The checklist is out of 25 cards. So you can check out the checklist. Will be available in the link we'll provide to you. The original set was out of 30. I don't like that you shrunk the checklist. And part of the reason I don't like it, and just being honest with you, I did a quick breakdown. And they got 25 cards, and 8 of the teams they doubled up. So in reality, you're only getting 17 different teams represented. So you double up players. You got to have Gretzky and you got to have Connor McDavid. Sure, makes total sense. They're both under Edmonton. You got 2 Toronto players, 2 Anaheim players, 2 Buffalo players. You got Dominic Hasek and you've got Levi, the younger goalie for Buffalo. But you doubled that up. You doubled up Detroit. You doubled up Colorado. You doubled up New Jersey. Makes a lot of sense, but you're leaving a lot of teams out. And again, the original checklist was 30, so you could have made it 30 and at least represented a couple more teams. It would have been a little bit more balanced. That's just a critique that I would offer. You went with this route, and we know the original checklist was 30. You could have just matched the 30 and gotten a couple more teams in there, and it would have at least balanced it out a little bit. Unfortunately, you're missing out half a league by doing it this way. The autograph versions, the checklist is a little bit more narrowed down. All 25 are not available in the autograph version. So I wanted to go into depth on that piece a little bit just because I'm very familiar with the original set, and I got a chance to look at the checklist and break it down a little bit for you. All right, so I'll move on from there. Star of the show, 1 in 4 packs, 2030, which I'm not too familiar with here, 1 in 5 packs through rides. So there's definitely a ton of inserts available for this. Standalone autograph sets are signatures. Very, very creative. Worked that one out there. 1 in 160 packs, signatures rookies, and greater than signatures 1 in 92 packs. You got the bounty program as well. So you've got that going for you. So with the red parallels, the first 25 collectors that are able to build and register a complete set with the code variations, so this is with the red parallel, receive a gold parallel set. So this is something that some people chase after. This is something they can pursue and try to put together. And then obviously that's a very tough pull. On top of that, the first 10 also receive a Caster Greatness gold set. So if you want to chase after the bounty program, you're going to need to collect those singles. You need to go buy those packs. Go buy them from Steve. Go buy them from Sherry. Go buy them from Blair. Go get them. So real quick, so if you go get the actual set, you got 3 cards per pack in hobby, 8 packs per box, 16 boxes per case. As I said, the set is 125, and then the release is coming up this week. So that's the breakdown and kind of what you should expect. Inside of a hobby box, what to expect. 2030 Star of the Show or thrill rides, 5 total, 3 cranked up. 1 of Barn Burners, Fearless Leaders, Flammable, Let's Go, Blair's favorite, and Waffle Boarded. So 1 total of something combination there. Light Up the Night, 3. Rookie Journey or Synergistic Duos, 3 total. 8 red parallels, 1 numbered base card autograph for premium inserts. So 1 total in it. So whole bunch of stuff, lots going on. It's very complex. That's why I wanted to take a couple minutes to go over it. Steve, you all got it? Clear as mud?
No.
You have any questions? Go see Steve.
It's heavy.
I do like those StarQuest cards, and like you said, hopefully they'll follow suit to the original. And hard to tell from that picture that was provided, but hopefully it will be a nice foil shiny card, which makes it tough to get in higher grade as well. But I do like the concept, so we'll see how they look.
Yeah, I'll pass judgment. I'll withhold judgment on it because I want to be fair. Because obviously a mock-up is a mock-up. You can't make too much out of a mock-up because you never know. Sometimes in hand it surprises you. The only reason I said is because I do remember the original set fondly. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it. It doesn't have this refractory foil, but the foil itself plays with the light a little bit. There's a little bit of texture to it. So that's why I say, like, be very careful when you want to invoke one of those, because people do remember the original. Look, there's a bunch of us that were around during the original run that remember the original. So you want to do it justice if you're going to do it, because otherwise we'll look at the other two and go, oh, come on, guys. And you'll have them side by side and it won't stand up to it. So like I said, I'll wait until some of them get pulled and we get a chance to see what it looks like. Hopefully they were able to replicate that well enough to give it some justice to it. The only, like I said, the only main critique I would have given, I would love to have seen a little bit more balance in that checklist. Take advantage of the 30 card checklist from the original and get a couple more teams in there. That would have given you a chance to get 5 more teams in there, even if you grab one representative. You don't need every team represented, but you knew you were going to get the Gretzkys. You knew you were going to get a lot of the star players, but then you skipped out on all the rest of them. And that's a little disappointing.
And to this day too, whenever, collections come in and, we see 90s, we automatically look for Star Quest. That's the kind of one of the 90s subsets that still, piques interest. And so I always go right to the Star Quest and look for color variations because they are still sought after and they're nice looking cards.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be very interesting to see how they're received. What I'm looking forward to, Steve, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, my favorite thing will be if you do get some younger collectors in there who pull it and they're like, what's this? My child. Little do you know. But what's funny is that, again, it came from what was a kid's set originally. It was a low-end brand that it came out of. And the reason why it snuck up on people is because the gold, all the other versions, the blue, the red, and the green, were available. I think the red was the toughest one. I think red was 1 per box. And then the gold was the one that was very difficult because they produced tons of boxes. The golds were not even really 1 per case. That's what made them difficult. What made them difficult is they were actually very tough pulls and broken up over this entire print run. But if you go look at the original checklist, it was a strong checklist. This one's got some interesting stuff in it, but you can tell where they kind of try to mix and match. That's why I'm a little disappointed in the combination, because we've got Jaromir Jagr in there. We've got Teemu Selanne in there. So you did incorporate some legends. Yeah. And I will say, probably the first Dominic Hasek insert in something like that I've seen in a bit. He's been around for sure. He's in the Legends rotation. But then for Buffalo, you used the Dominic Hasek slot, and then you also did the Devin Levi. So you got 2 Buffalo Sabres. So that's a sentence I haven't heard in the checklist that size. 2 Buffalo Sabres included in the checklist. It's kind of interesting. Okay. So we wanted to make sure we included those ones. So again, if you're curious about it or you have questions, again, go to subject matter expert Steve, Collector Scouts, Collector People. He'll be able to explain to you all the subsets and inserts, and he'll be able to break it down for you in detail. He's going to have a PowerPoint deck and everything. It's going to be very exciting.
What are you smiling at, Blair? I'll refer them to you.
They will be priced to sell, so come buy them.
Yeah, very competitive pricing too. We'll be our intention is to get it, move it. So I can't speak for everyone else, but we'll probably be the lowest around. So pop in and see us or reach out to the store for pricing.
Mm-hmm. And you can get, like I said, like I'm alluding to, you can also go in just to see the perplexed look when it's like, wait, so the base set, so this red one is a parallel, yes, but the base cards are yes, the base cards are much lower numbered. Yes, that's right, correct.
When those questions starts, that's when I take my 15-minute break and pass them over to Blair.
Hey, Blair.
Perfect, love it. All right, so let's take a look at some cards that came in the store. I didn't resort these, but we'll definitely touch on them here a little bit, and then we'll have a little discussion at the end just to round out the episode. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of cards. We're going to start off here with a Connor Bedard Team Canada card. Pretty fun-looking card here. I don't know what set this is from, so you guys will have to fill me in on it. But it looks like we got memorabilia and we got an autograph here. So which set is this one from?
That's the 2023, I guess, Canada World Juniors set. I think it the last 2 have sold like in the last week or 2 for anywhere from like $1,400 to $2,000. So there's still there's still that interest in Bedard, and it's a lower run. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's available in the store, and it's actually on our in our eBay store as well.
Very nice. So this one's numbered to 75, so you can see the numbering over on the side. So that is a numbered variant. So good to include that as well. So here we've got an Anthony Richardson. This one's numbered to 99. This is from Donruss Clearly. So clearly, basically kind of a see-through kind of acetate set, which is great. And we've got the autograph on there using the Rated Rookie branding. So two things that come to mind. And like I said, I always like to be very transparent when we talk about these. So two things. The Rated Rookie branding, Panini has been using it for years. It works well enough for what it's in there. The sticker auto I can live with. That autograph is a little bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, that is an Anthony Richardson autograph. Like, that's not unusual. That's more an Anthony Richardson thing is. Now, we're looking at this image. This image was taken. Panini. We got the word cult should be complete. Like, I'm looking right at it. Like, I can't miss it. It's right in front of my face. Come on, guys. I before we started recording, I picked up one of the manufacturers. Like, collectors notice these things. Like, you didn't get one past us. It's right there.
I actually think it is there, but the white fades into blue. I'll have to look at the card after. But
it's a black background too.
Yeah,
it is, but that's a design. But that's a design problem where the Colts should be closer to that whiter area, so it's more visible.
But it is actually on there.
I have no doubt it's on there, Steve. My concern isn't that it's on there. My concern is the alignment. What I'm looking at is the alignment on the design. Is what I'm getting at here.
Right.
But that's my concern. So this was numbered to 99, so that is included in there. And again, that's not unusual. Panini has had that issue with a lot of sets.
Number one of 99 too, so that some people like that.
There you go. Got a bookend. This one's a more recent one here from Trilogy. This is the Generations. I've seen a couple of these around. So this one, I guess, is the pink version, numbered to 25 for Connor McDavid. Yes. Very thematically appropriate, given that the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup. That'll be kind of the little topic of discussion that I'll touch on at the end. So this is thematically appropriate here. So if you're looking for McDavid, this is a nice insert here, numbered to 25. All right. So again, under Trilogy, a Generation. So this is same insert, but a subset of it. So another variant, so to speak. This one is an autograph patch piece, numbered to 10, for Luke Hughes. Sticker auto on there, but we've got a 2-color little patch piece there, which is nice. So this is one of the variants included in Trilogy from that subset.
Stickers crooked.
Terrible out of
there. I'm trying not to pick at the manufacturers on every card. I could right now, like, it's a thing, but maybe that's a topic for a different discussion. We'll save it for next week, depending on how the products are coming along. Maybe we'll touch on that a little bit.
Great item.
There you go. Exactly. Go buy it. Okay. So this one here is a nice one. So this is an NHL Shield, and it looks like it's one of the, it's got the little foil pattern on it. I think it's one of the vinyl ones. I can't see on the front there, but I'm assuming, is this number to 5 or 1 of 1?
This is the 1 of 1.
I thought so. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Because when I see the little swirls there, usually that's what they do with the vinyl, and oftentimes they'll use that as a 1 of 1. That's why I wanted to double check. If it's because the numbering is not on the front, I didn't want to guess. So in this case, we've got a Devon Ashante. So NFL patch shield there on there. That's pretty cool looking. I would like the shield to be aligned a little bit more, but nonetheless, it's a really cool piece, 1 of 1. So that's pretty good. And it's got the little vinyl piece going for it. So that's kind of neat. A little off the beaten path. But just out of curiosity, how did this one come into the store? Somebody brought this one in?
Yeah, someone brought it in. So
because it's from Phoenix, which is a little tougher. Yeah.
But no, someone brought that in, and anytime I see a 1 of 1, he is a good young player as well. So it was it's a good card to have.
Very
I'm just finding the placement of the logo is a little odd as well.
Oh, well, we got the feedback. We got the feedback from the other video. This seems to be a theme. It's like, guys, shields, logos, center it, put it in the center. It's a 1 of 1. We can center it a little bit.
It appears to be shielding his crotch.
Thank you, Blair. We appreciate your observations are contributing to this greatly. All right, moving on. All right, so Trilogy then, to finish off the Trilogy, we got one more Luke Hughes. This one here is the rookie signature pucks, numbered to 24. And this one here, I like the concept. I actually bought a Medano like this out of 24 as well. So I like the concept of the puck. I love the paint pen. I'm a big fan of paint pen. So if you can incorporate paint pen into it very nicely, I'm a fan, and I like the concept of it. Again, talking about the Luke Hughes autograph from a moment ago. Unfortunately, Luke Hughes autograph does not work very well with a paint pen. That's more a reflection on Luke Hughes and his efforts. It's like when you're talking a paint pen that's that thick, he needs to take a little bit more time with it. Otherwise, it winds up a little bit like this. And unfortunately, that's a reflection on the autograph more than the card. The card itself, concept,
I find that though with a lot of those paint pens, I wish they would use a thinner one, because that's not the only one that we've received that just it's a little thick and smudged and hard to differentiate in the reading or in the wording.
Yeah, you have to use the thicker paint pens on bigger items like photos.
Absolutely. But I'll say this, like I said, I've been critical of the manufacturers and a couple of things in the show today so far and everything, but concept wise, I like the idea. This is where it's just a matter of being a little careful with the execution. But I like the idea of having like a puck concept on a card. I think it actually works when it works well and the person autographs it clean. It can look really good, and I've seen some that are really well done. And I'm a fan of the concept, so I'd like them to keep doing the idea, but maybe just work on the execution with the players to try to get it to come off a little bit more. But again, it's a cool card. If you're Luke Hughes fans, this is a neat card. Number 24, it's kind of a cool one there.
Yep.
So that is another one, that nice one that came in the store. A good variety there. So thank you for providing those, Steve. Appreciate that. Okay. So a couple of things we'll touch on here at the very end, and then we'll call it an episode. Again, we thank everybody for their participation. We'd like to get some comments. So for this last one, I actually want to get a little participation because I want to ask the folks watching, because I'm going to ask some questions. Our Stanley Cup final has been established. We now have who's going to be in it. We've got the Edmonton Oilers. This is the chance for a Canadian team to win a Stanley Cup for the first time since 1993. It's been a long time. So that's one side of the equation. On the other side of the equation, you have the Florida Panthers taking their second straight shot at trying to win a Stanley Cup. They were in the Stanley Cup last year. Now, as a possibly bitter Dallas Star fan, maybe a little bit bitter, just a little bit, a little salty. I've got Panthers in 2.5. It's like, well, let's not even bother playing 4. We'll give up sometime around game 3 and we'll move on. But I am somewhat biased, so I will recuse myself from the rest of the discussion. So first, what I want to get in, so 2 things. I want to get predictions from you, who you think's going to win. That's what I want. And then secondly, we're going to talk a little bit about Connor McDavid, because this could be very interesting depending on the result here. So Steve, who's winning? Who do you got?
Well, I'd like Edmonton to win, but I'm still not sold on Skinner. Being a goaltender, just watching him. Dallas didn't make him move enough, I thought, and he's just a big guy. So they were just hitting him in the stomach nonstop. I think Florida's going to try to get him going side to side. And if they follow that game plan, and he's proven that he can get a little rattled from time to time. So it's definitely fallen on his shoulders, and that's part of being a goaltender is, dealing with the pressure. So we'll see. But I mean, Florida's looking good, and Bobrovsky's a stud in there. So good luck to Stuart Skinner and the Edmonton Oilers. But I really don't care who wins.
Wow. I appreciate that we tied it all together in a nice bow there. That was very nicely done.
But go Edmonton. Canada needs to win one.
There you go. Perfect. And to your point from earlier about Dallas not getting enough shots, look, I definitely wasn't yelling at the TV for them to shoot more, if that's what you're thinking. I'm just saying. Again, not bitter, a little bit salty, just a little salty. Blair, predictions. Who do you think's going to win the Cup this year?
Yeah, pretty much along the same lines as Steve. Of course, I want Edmonton to win. Canadian team. I want to see it come back. I am a fan of McDavid. How could you not be? Yeah, I don't hate Florida, but yeah, I got to go for the Canadian team. So yeah, I think they can do it. It's going to be an awesome series, and I'm a hockey fan first, so I just love watching hockey anyway. But yeah, I gotta lean towards Edmonton. Yeah, I think Skinner. I to Steve's point, yeah, I mean, is he the most technical guy? Maybe not. But he goes after it, and yeah, I think he's in the right headspace now. So it's a great matchup all around. Goalies, they both play similar heavy kind of style of game. So I think whoever stays healthy will probably come out of it. But yeah, I'm cheering for Edmonton. So
there you go. We got the Canadian homerism fully covered there. And by the way, I also appreciate you hedging your bets so that you'll be allowed to vacation in Florida at some point in the rest of your life. you didn't want to completely burn that bridge and be allowed to visit at some point in Florida.
I just stuck a toe in there.
Yeah, just be like, hedge your bets, hedge your bets. I see what happens there. I see what happened. Sherry, are you going for the sweep again? I am a bitter Dallas fan, so I'm all about the Florida man.
I was going to say it's either going to be Edmonton or Florida. But
good call, Sherry.
Wow, crazy.
I'm going with Edmonton game 6 2-1. That is my prediction.
Wow. See, Sherry went for the jugular. See, that's how it's done, people.
Yeah.
And what I want, so this is why I said what I'm asking participation from the viewers. So I want your prediction. If you want to go games, go for it. But I want to know who you think's going to win. So that's the first thing I'm asking anybody who watches this after the fact. I want to hear it in the comments section. Let me know who you think's going to win. So that's first. Again, ignore me. I'm a bitter Dallas fan, so ignore me. So second question that I have, and we'll touch on this one real quick, and then we'll wind her down on the episode. So let's say, for the sake of argument, y'all get your way. Edmonton wins. Congratulations. That would be huge for Connor McDavid. So one of the things that I talked about in one of the other podcast episodes that I did just this past week was that if McDavid wins, that's a big legacy piece for him. So we'll bring this into the hobby side of things, because we showed that McDavid card. Well, that McDavid card might get a little bit of a boost. Now, cars are not going to double overnight. It's not going to be that crazy. McDavid already has a lot baked into his prices today. It's already accepted that he's a great player. They're hoping he wins, and if he does, I think it'll solidify him. It puts him in a certain echelon with the other things he's accomplished. It stabilizes him. It actually puts him into a level where, hey, now going forward, anything else he does will be adding to his resume as an all-time great. That's a good thing. So that'll add it to it. So what I'm curious about is this. So if they win and Connor McDavid goes in, it solidifies them. So two things. First, does it make him more or less likely to stick around in Edmonton? Because for him, I think winning in Edmonton would be huge, because they'll build him a statue outside, because at this point they would love nothing more than to have that, and they'd love to celebrate it. It'd be huge. But does that mean he'd be more likely to stick around, or does that mean now he'd be kind of free to go pursue other options down the road and maybe try to win a few more? The team's very good, but this draw has worked out actually quite nicely for them. So this is just my opinion on it. So first question I have is, if you think if he wins, does that make him more likely to stick around? And you can also mention anything related to where you think that's going to do for his prices or anything related to that. Steve, thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know him personally, so if he's happy, he's staying. I mean, sure. That's what it boils down to. It's up to him. If he thinks there's something else out there for him, he'll go. But if he loves Edmonton and where he's at, and obviously the makeup of the team, if it looks like the team, will have its nucleus for the next few years, why go anywhere? Some guys want to go to the limelight, or New York or LA, and dabble in commercials or whatever it might be. But if he's
that's Blair's story, yeah,
if he's happy where he is, he'll stay.
Sure. The reason I asked the question, though, is because one of the things that a lot of people get is that the perception was always going to be, it's going to be tough. He may not be able to win in Edmonton. He may have to go somewhere else to take a shot at it. This year, they've got the chance. If he wins there, well, then he won there. Then there's no longer he has the ring. He has he'd have the cup at that point in that scenario. So all of a sudden, it kind of takes the pressure off. Now it's like, well, go wherever you want for whatever makes the most sense for you. If you're, to your point, if he's already happy where he is and he has the cup, it's no longer something hanging over him. Hey, but you never won a cup. Are you sure? It's like the Ray Bourque thing. Ray Bourque spent his entire career in Boston. It wasn't that Ray Bourque didn't like being in Boston and that he ran away to go play in Colorado, but he was at the tail end of his career. That was likely his last shot at maybe being, and he did win. And even in Boston, they actually celebrated him because, hey, we understand you were here for the longest time. You tried and you had a couple of chances, didn't work out. You went somewhere, you won a Stanley Cup, you came back, and they had a parade for it. But in this case, there's a chance for him to win with the team he started with, which there's something to be said for that. And that's why I say, I think it'd be kind of an interesting scenario. That's why I posed it. Blair, same question. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a few things. I obviously McDavid, he's not at the end of his career, so I don't see him going anywhere. I think he's that type of person as well too, like Crosby. like Crosby, there was all this talk, he was so dejected at the end of the season, and he'll go chase. I don't think Crosby's not going anywhere. He's going to be Pittsburgh to the end of it. And I see
Crosby's already won 3 cups, though. He's a little bit of a different story because at this point he literally has a whole legacy built up.
He is, but I see McDavid as the same kind of person. I just don't see him going anywhere. And I mean, if they're able to pull this out and get the cup, then hey, the pressure's off both ways. But I still don't see him leaving. And and then as far as like Steve said, I think a lot of that team can stay together. I know there's a few guys that are going to get upgrades, Evan Bouchard, and so there's some monies that has to be dished out. But in this cap kind of era too, everybody talks about it, but it is tough to keep teams together. But I think Edmonton can keep quite a portion. I mean, they may have to lose a few guys, but I think it's still doable to let some guys go, sign some other guys, and maybe have another run at it. But I can't see him going anywhere. I really don't.
All right, sounds fair. And Sherry, so same question for yourself. Do you think he sticks around in Edmonton if everything works out, or does he go dip his toe with Florida Blair and move down south and tries his fortune?
I think he's probably just going to go to the Leafs.
Ooh. Sherry, Sherry, I'm in the epicenter here. Sports radio would go ablaze. They would lose their minds.
I'm actually kidding. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Sherry, you put it out into the universe. I just want you to know someone over at one of the sports radios like, oh please, oh come on, let's go. Yeah. Offer him $1 billion. $1 billion.
They probably could.
No, he's not going anywhere.
All right. I like the optimism. It's always interesting. Like I said, though, these are all factors. This all plays into it. That's why I use the Ray Bork example. That's an example of a player who had been associated with a team a long time, and nobody begrudged him going because at the time he did it, he was at the tail end of his career. They had a couple of Stanley Cup Finals appearances. They had tried a couple of times, weren't able to quite get over the hump during his career. So nobody had any issue with him trying. And within that short period, he was able to win in Colorado. Big moment for him and everything. And that's a fact. When he went back to Boston, they actually had a parade with him. They celebrated with him. They're like, hey, you know what? You won. Congratulations. Good job. So he had been associated with that team for a long time. That's why it's interesting in the current era. I think McDavid, Edmonton will give him the money he wants. But it's about, to Blair's point, it's can you retain Draisaitl? Because Draisaitl is a great player. And he's going to command good money. And there's a lot of other very talented players on that team who are also going to command money. You can't pay them all Blair money. We can't do that. There's only so many people we can pay that for. That's it. Can't give the star treatment to everybody. You got to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
So second comment for folks in the comment section. I'm curious, if it comes to pass, do you think that means it solidifies him? Then, hey, you're already all set. You're a lifer. You stick around in Edmonton. Or does he then pursue other avenues? And last one here is a bonus one for the chat. If anybody wants to check it out as well, curious what you think happens with some of the cards. Do we see? I think there'll be a little bit of a boost temporarily, and then it kind of calms down for a bit. But I think what it does is it stabilizes the floor, because again, if he wins hypothetically, that solidifies him in a certain tier with these other players who have at least won a cup, and now he can build those other accomplishments on top of it, and that can only help. That adds something to it, because if you're looking for that cup, then it's a little tricky. They always ask the question, oh, well, is he ever going to win? Is he one of the best players not to win? That happened with Ovechkin until they finally won. Yeah. For all his accomplishments, until he won that cup, you always kind of questioned it. As soon as he won, he was a made man. Everything he did from there on in, it was just icing on the cake. A little bit more, a little bit of a bonus. So it changes players' trajectories. That's why I said interesting comparison to ask, especially with the things he's accomplished so far. Very impressive. A cup win would be huge for him, I think, and it would be a big deal, and it would help out. Oh, and then Steve can go with the price gun and just mark up a couple of the McDavids a little bit more. Just throwing it out there. He's ready to go. It's fired up. All right. So that's it for us. We want to thank you for checking this one out, episode 33. Check out some of the products. He's ready with the price gun. He's ready. We're ready to go. Oh, so check that out. Also, keep up posted on a lot of the social medias. You'll get updates on a lot of these different things as you go along the way. If you've got questions on the specific products, ask. You reach out to some of the contact points we talked about. And I want to hear your comment and feedback on some of the questions I asked about that. I'd be curious to get your predictions. I want to see what you think about a lot of those things. Also, one more thing we'll talk about. Keep an eye on those social medias, as I said already. for when the next card show comes up and trade night, because there will be one more, and then there will be a summer hiatus, and the hours will be changing, so you can check that on social medias. Everything's in the description. You'll get a link to the synergy checklist. Read the synergy checklist. It's complicated. You're going to want to scan it over, because otherwise you'll be very confused. Or go see Steve. Go ask Steve all your questions related to synergy. That's how you'll know how things are. For Steve, Collector the Scalps, Collector the People. For Blair, before he becomes Florida Man. And for Sherry, on location in a festive cottage somewhere. We thank you for checking this episode out, and we will catch you in the next one.